So let's go ahead and just bring this into the previewer now. Okay, so we have the previewer. You can see that we have this thing here. I'm just gonna make a new object altogether. You know what? I'm just gonna close the previewer altogether, and I'm just gonna reopen it. Log in. I always hit no for that. And so now I have a new previewer, so I want to derive from product 677. So I'm going to create a new derived product, 677. Let's hit OK. Okay, so I have these glasses here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to replace, right now if we look at the special node, you can see that we have a skeleton file which accepts the .xsf file. So we're going to bring that in, and then I want to bring in the simple plain rig. So I brought that in, and this is important. Right now this rig is going to attach itself to this node, so we'll see what that is in just a second. But first, let's bring in our geometry. We're going to go ahead and just go to browse, and then let's bring in our simple plane mesh, the first one that we did. So I'm just going to go ahead, hit open. And then the second we do that, you can see that we have 4 vertices, which is those points in space that are defining our object, and it's breaking up the one face to 2 triangles because that's how the computer is going to end up reading it. And then here we have our material ID, which is 12, and we can go ahead here, see our material ID of 12, and you can see we don't have anything here until we hit apply changes, and it doesn't look like anything is here. But I know something is here. If we just go ahead and just rotate around our character, we can see our plane is actually right here. There are a few things that are happening with this. Well, one, I would like to point out that it is our new plane that we have, because I had moved that vert down this way, but you can see it's kind of rotated and facing a different direction. And if we look at it from this side, it doesn't show. Now, the reason why an object is not going to show from both sides in the previewer, the same reason why an object doesn't show on both sides in the in 3D Studio Max in our 3D program, is the idea of the direction of a polygon face is facing. So in this case, this polygon face is facing this way, and there's an invisible object that we can't see currently called normals, and the normal of this object is just a line that points out from the center of the face, pointing straight out. It's facing this way, and it's telling the computer, hey, the correct direction is this way, so if we're facing behind it, don't show it. So that's something that we'll get into a little bit later, just exposing that to you. But now let's go ahead and check out why the heck this thing isn't facing properly. So basically, this is going to come down to the special tab, and we'll go deeper into this a little bit later. But right now, this rig is attaching to the head. So basically, what's happening? There's a bone in the avatar called head. So I'm just going to hit F3 to just kind of hide that. Let's see if I can find it. It's probably this node right here. I can get it. I can get it. You know what? I'm just going to delete you. Get out of my way. Go away. So if I select that, that's head. So basically what's happening, it's taking this, my rig, and it's aligning it. Let's see. It's aligning it to the head. So it's taking it's taking the direction it's facing, so it's taking the position and direction. So if I go ahead and do that, and hit OK, you can see that we're going to get a similar result as we did with the previewer. So basically that's what's happening. So what we need to do, we need to go ahead and make sure we're aligning it with the correct object. So I'm just going to go ahead and undo that, and we need to see if there's anything that we have currently that's that this object's aligned with. And if we select this, we can see, if we look at the name, that it's the female 03 master root. So I'm just going to copy that, and I know it's part of the rig, so I'm just going to go ahead into the previewer, and just instead of head, I'm just going to paste that information. and hopefully we're going to get a proper we're going to get our plane facing the right direction. So I'm just going to go ahead, hit apply, and let's zoom out, and we have our plane, and we have the updated geometry that we made, but we don't have any textures. Okay, so if we go inside of our materials section, we can go ahead and see the fact that, okay, well, there is nothing defining it. If we went back to our 3D program and we did something like this, this is more or less what we have. We have a material that's not really defining the correct information. Right? It has no maps, no anything. So that's the basic. That's basically what we have currently. So what we want to do, we want to assign a material to here. So in order to do that, we need to go ahead and export one, file, export. And then we're just going to name this, we're going to name it birth material, and .xrf, and just hit save. Doesn't matter what it says here. If we typed in the right extension, it's gonna use that one. It's gonna yell at me again, and I just need to find the right material. In this case, it was the 18 one, and it's gonna pull in this texture name when we do our export. I'm just gonna hit finish. So let's open up the previewer. Okay, so in this case, I have the material 12, which is what this mesh exported. Remember, the one with 18 had 18 on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and import my material. Now, if you remember, that birth material had that the ID of 18 on there. We'll see in just a second whether or not that's going to crash anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and import that, hit apply, and right now everything excuse me, everything is working. So if we look at our material, the birth material, okay, so if we look at our material, it is brought in this guy here, and if we go to our geometry tab, you can see, it brought in the material ID of 12. Oh, that was my mistake. We were working with the material ID of 12 to begin with. So what I was trying to say was, even though we brought in the birth material, which when we exported it, you can see that it has the material ID of 18, and let's go ahead and export again. Let's just call it birth material. We'll overwrite, we'll get yelled at. So even though that it has 18 here, it doesn't update the information of the mesh at all. So the name in the XRF has nothing to do with the XRF itself, because that 12 is generated within the XMF. Within the XMF file. So before we even look at the files, let's just go ahead and just get our texture on here just so we can see what the heck's going on. So I'm going to click on this button, or I can double click here, or I'm just going to click here, and then I'm just going to go grab my texture, open it up, so you can see the texture's here, and it's going to take this information and apply it to this channel in our texture. So let's zoom out. Okay, cool. So we were successfully able to bring the information in, but now let's go ahead and just check out the files that were generated. So we're going to look at our XMF files, we're going to look at our XRF files, and we can also take a quick peek at the XSF file. So let's go ahead and look at the order that we exported them in.